Exciting day. Awesome to kind of close camp for us here in terms of, getting through the summer and fall camp and everything that we've been through as an offense. Really excited about the strides that we've made here. Really excited about the depth that we have on the offensive side of the football. Our guys have really done a great job of preparing, getting better every single day, competing with one another, also encouraging. And then, the defense has presented a bunch of challenges for us that we feel really, really prepared for in terms of the season and obviously Kansas State as we move forward. But really excited about the growth that we've done, really excited about the guys and their hunger level to try and continue to get better and continue to apply what we've been teaching them, get better in year 2 of the system, add some new wrinkles and just continue to strive for excellence. So been a great camp, been fun. Jerry stood out and done some great things, but like Coach has said, we feel like we got a stable of guys in the quarterback room that can really do a lot of great things for us. Our running backs and tight ends have really come on strong and done a great job, and obviously the offensive line room has been great with depth. It's been fun to work with those guys as leaders of our group, and our receiver core is coming along and growing every single day. We're getting on the same page and growing and creating a rhythm. So been a great group of guys to work with, been super challenging, as a staff to get ready for every single day with what we're doing on defense. Been fun to compete against those guys, and we've had a lot of good juice. But now in preps for Kansas State, we're looking forward to having fun this Saturday and making some plays and competing. So with that, I'll open to questions.
Obviously, the big question is QB1. What can we kind of expect from Kaminsky for this weekend?
Yeah, I think I'd just piggyback off of what Coach Schmidt said. Jerry's done a great job just in terms of his development from year 1 in the system to year 2 in the system of trusting what we're calling, knowing why we're calling it, and then being able to execute at a high level. Kid has a great arm, can really run, do a lot of things with his feet as well. But has learned to process things in a very quick manner. And I think what's exciting and been fun for me in terms of my opportunity to work with him every day is that, when new things came, the first year there was a question at times. And now it's, I trust it, I feel it, I believe it, I know it. There's no second guessing. It's just comfortability, tying feet and eyes together, whether it's protections and coverages in terms of the pass game or its decision-making processes in the run games. And, our offense has really evolved from that, and he's done a great job of taking care of the football, trusting what we're telling him, being able to apply, the teachings that he's learning every single day, even though it may change at times. And like I said, our defense has presented a ton of different pictures, whether it's fronts and structures in the box to coverage structures in the back end. And, there's times that there's not a whole lot of answers, but you figure it out as you go. You trust what you've learned, and you tie your feet and your eyes together. And he's done a great job of making great decisions with the football. And we're excited for him to lead the offense and get an opportunity to show what he can do.
How much fun or how difficult was the decision process going into deciding who was going to be QB1 for this week?
Yeah, I think it's always a difficult decision. I think we do it the right way, though. We sit them all down. We have a one-on-one, honest, upfront conversation with them with, this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. This is what we see in terms of what you can do better. This is what we think you've done well. And then make sure that they all get the message that's streamlined from Coach Schmidt and myself, where there is no he said, she said. We need this group to be as tight as ever. Yes, a decision's going to be made, and yes, a decision has to be made in order to do what's best for our team, but we all got to be on the same page. And, Jerry went through it last year, and I told him, hey, you better be disappointed, right? You better be frustrated. You better be upset. Because if you're not a competitor and you're not frustrated, you're not upset, I don't want you on my team. I don't want you in my roster. So those guys are frustrated with the decision, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm excited that they're frustrated because they know I got to play better. I got to do this, this, and this to be a better player. And ultimately they all do great things. They all have different strengths, but some that are very similar in the same sense where, they're going to present threats to defenses all year where they're all going to have opportunities. They're all going to have options to be out there. and make our offense as difficult to defend as they can. But to me, it's all about being honest, having a streamlined message, and then just being upfront so they know exactly what they need to improve on and why they need to improve on it in order for themselves and their success, but also our offense.
I know that Coach touched on the fact that you guys didn't get to totally sit down and watch the whole game, but from the little bit that you saw after the practice, what did you kind of see from this offense? What are you kind of expecting for that side of things?
Yeah, I mean, their defense is really, really good. A veteran group up front, super physical, play hard, super fast. Like Coach said, they were a bunch of 3-3 stack stuff last year. They're still a little bit in the odd front, but now more 4 down, a lot more single high, still some 2 high stuff as we look at it, but the front 4 is really, really good. Their linebackers are fast and do a really good job of being physical, play well with their hands, get off blocks. And their secondary, they got a couple kids that can really, really run, present problems in terms of press coverage and stuff like that. But an experienced group that is going to play really, really hard. So that right away, we got our hands full with that. And then they're really, really sound in terms of 4 down, 3 down, mixing up coverages, pressure looks, stuff like that. Playing man, playing zone. They're a difficult group to prepare for. But the exciting thing, like I said, is Coach Schmidt and the defensive staff has really prepared us for a lot of things. So in terms of rules and our plan on offense, we feel really good and excited about what our guys have done through fall camp. And it's been great prep as we get, moving forward in the game plan for week 1. So just want to see our guys go out and cut it loose. I've been telling Jerry, just be you and trust what you know, right? And I would say the same thing to our offense. Be you, trust what you know, go out and execute at a high level, play as hard as you can, and things will work out all right.
All right, Coach, earlier when we talked in the summer, there was no timeline, you said, on naming a starting quarterback. When did it come to you, when did it click in your guys' mind, Jerry's our guy?
Well, like Coach said, I mean, the conversations are daily, right? And they're multiple times a day. We had conversations from the first day of fall camp to, when we broke camp and started getting prepared for Kansas State. So I don't know if there was like a one hit to the head where you were like, hey, now it's over and it's done, because we want guys competing at all times and we want them to feel comfortable so they can be confident, play fast, and trust their abilities. But you don't want them too comfortable where they get loosey-goosey and they're not preparing, they're not striving to be great. But we just felt like the consistency factor as we got through fall camp and as you looked at the big picture, Jerry's been a leader in the starving board since Coach Schmidt has gotten here, which means like basically he's graded the best in terms of his grades on a daily occurrence. And from the moment Coach Schmidt got here, that's been all accumulating since we've gotten to this point. So, it's just been over time, the process of being consistent and, like Coach Schmidt says all the time, consistently good, not occasionally great. There's been times where it's been a struggle, but he's gotten better and he's been consistent the whole time. And again, I can't echo it enough that Javance and Simon and all those guys have done a great job as well of doing the same thing. We just felt like Jerry took the best care of the ball, was consistently, good over, the rest of them. But we got 3 guys that can play and can do a lot of great things for us for sure in this roster. And that makes us difficult to defend. So I don't know if there was one moment that we just said like, boom, there it is. But just as we continued to talk, it felt like consistently good, not occasionally great, kept coming to our minds.
All right. Well, my final question for you, Coach, is, you have a lot of weapons on offense as well. What's it like being able to have pieces like, Dang on the outside, and then you have a stable of running backs that you guys can turn to?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the biggest challenge as you go through a game plan week of how do you get touches to all those guys. And my first year coordinating, I had no idea what I was doing, and at times I still don't know what I'm doing. But the best advice I ever got from the head coach I was working for was you got to get touches to your best players. Sometimes it doesn't matter what the fronts are, what the coverages are, what your scheme is. It's about touches. And I tell the kids in recruiting that all the time because I think it's true. LeBron James, Steph Curry, they got to get their shots in the first half, right, in order to get into a mold. It's no different for us. We got to get the ball to Xavier and to Sawyer and to Gavin, and get Aiden Beheimer and Dang some touches. Like we got to get those guys touches regardless of, coverages or fronts or whatever it might be. It's all about, our design to get them touches and then let their athletic ability take over. So to me, it's a pitch count, trying to get them as many touches as we can early, get them into a groove, get them into a mold, make them to, feel comfortable, and then let their God-given ability take over. So it's a problem at times. It turns into some long nights, but that's okay. It's our job to do what's best in terms of for our offense and get them touches so that we can have the most success that we can.